Have you ever really thought about your family tree? I mean, really thought about where you come from? For a lot of us, it's a pretty straightforward question. But for others, it's the beginning of this huge, life-changing quest, the search for a biological father they've never even met. Today, we're diving deep into what it means to go looking for a missing piece of yourself. You know, a journey like this, it almost always kicks off with a moment of pure shock. For so many people, it's a surprise DNA test that drops a bombshell. It's something called a not parent expected, or NPE event. And just like this person on Reddit says, that discovery can feel incredibly lonely, like you're the only one on Earth this has ever happened to. But as we're about to see, you are definitely not alone. So, what is it that actually pushes someone to start this search? I mean, wanting to know our roots, that's a pretty basic human thing, but it usually takes a huge life event to really light that fire and bring the question right to the front of your mind. Okay, let's break this down. These big life moments, they're often the real trigger. For one woman, Deborah, it was having her own child that made her need to find her own roots. For another guy, Chris, it was watching the news about Typhoon Haiyan hitting his home country, the Philippines. All he could think was, are they still alive? These are the moments that just force you to face who you are and confront those missing pieces of your story. And this need to know, it's not just a feeling. It's actually a recognized human right. The UN Convention on the Rights of the Child literally says that every child has the right to know their origins. So this isn't just about curiosity, it's about a fundamental need to be whole. All right, so now that we kind of get the why, let's get into the how. Because in the 21st century, the whole game of searching for a biological father has been completely turned on its head by new tools and resources. Today, you've got this modern toolkit with three main paths. First up, and this is the big one, you've got commercial DNA databases. Then there's the more old-school approach, digging through official archives and paper trails held by governments. And finally, and this is so important, there are support services that give you expert help. Because trust me, this is not a journey you want to take by yourself. Okay, now what's really fascinating here is just how dominant DNA has become. Look at that, it's the #1 way in, making up almost half of all successful searches. But check out the other slices of the pie. Family stories, official documents, even just scrolling through social media. They're all still super important pieces of the puzzle. Most of the time, it's a mix of all these things that finally gets you an answer. Finding the tools is one thing, but actually using them, that's a whole other ballgame. This search is an intense, emotional roller coaster. It's full of these soaring highs and some really serious lows that you have to be ready for. Right, so everyone starts out hoping for that perfect movie moment. You find a family that welcomes you with open arms, you get all your questions answered, and there's this instant, happy bond. But you have to be prepared for the hazards. The reality can be brutal. You might uncover some really painful family secrets, or learn that the person you're looking for has already passed away. Or maybe worst of all, you face total rejection. Because of these risks, the International Social Service actually has a list of what they call gevarsignalen, basically danger signals, for anyone on this path. And the message is crystal clear. Be careful. Don't go into this with some fairy tale idea of how it's going to go, and absolutely do not try to do it all alone. You've got to respect privacy and be ready for any outcome, because the emotional fallout for everyone involved can be huge. And this quote from an adoptee named Anik, wow, it just nails it. Even after a successful search where she actually found her biological father, she felt more lost than when she started. Finding the person doesn't always mean you find peace. A lot of the time, it just means that for every one question you answer, 2 new ones pop up. The high point of any search, of course, is that moment of discovery. But that one moment can look and feel totally different from one person to the next. It's like 2 sides of the very same coin. For some people, it's just absolute euphoria. I mean, can you imagine? After years of searching, years of praying for an answer, this user looks over and sees that one word she's been waiting for her whole life: father. The relief, the pure joy, it's just incredible. And then there's the other side of the coin. Deborah's story is just gut-wrenching. She spent years building a relationship with the man she was sure was her father. She finally met him, And just to make it official, she asked for a DNA test. The result? 0.0% match. Just like that, in an instant, the entire connection she'd spent years building was just gone. So whether the news is good or bad, the result is kind of the same. Your entire world gets flipped on its head. This quote just captures that weird feeling perfectly. You're still you, but at the same time, your entire story, who you thought you were, where you thought you came from, it's all been rewritten. Nothing feels the same anymore. But here's the thing. That discovery, that's not the end of the story. Not by a long shot. In a lot of ways, it's just the beginning of a totally new and really complicated next chapter. Once you have the answer, this whole new reality kicks in. You're trying to build brand new, awkward relationships from zero. You might be dealing with jealousy or tension from the family who actually raised you. You're grieving the identity you used to have. It's not a quick fix. It's this long, messy journey of trying to figure out how this massive new piece of information fits into your life. This whole experience really forces you to ask a much deeper question. A Dutch study on parenthood actually looked into this. They asked young people to explain the difference between a parent and an opvoeder, a word that basically means the person who raises you. And their answers, they're really telling. Just let that sink in for a second. According to this kid, a parent is someone whose care is unconditional. It's just there, no questions asked. But for an opvoeder, a caregiver, that bond isn't a given. It has to be built over time. It really suggests that the thing that truly makes a parent isn't just biology, it's that unbreakable emotional connection. So in the end, this whole journey redefines, well, everything. The man who raised you, the one who was there for you, he is your dad. Discovering a biological father doesn't take that away. It doesn't replace him. It just adds this new, complex, and sometimes really profound layer to your identity and your idea of what family even means. And honestly, this comment says it all, doesn't it? This is from someone who went through this exact thing, and they make it so clear. The title, Dad, isn't just about biology. It's a title that you earn through love, through care, through just showing up and raising someone. Which leaves us with the biggest question of all. What truly defines a father? It's obviously not just DNA or a piece of paper or one single moment of discovery. It's this complex, messy tapestry of biology, love, time, and choice. And for every single person who goes on this journey, the answer is going to be completely and uniquely their own.